Okay. So now we look at the internal CSS. So what is internal CSS? Internal CSS is a style that you add to an HTML element or HTML page within the same page. You understand? You apply within the same page, which that's what we call it internal. Not inline, but you apply it within the internal page. How? Normally, we normally put it inside the header or inside the head. Understand? We put it inside the head of the HTML structure. Normally, we come here and write style like this. You understand? So in between is where all the internal CSS is going to be. So all the element that you want it to be affected by the style is going to be inside or in between the style tag, open and closing tag. You understand? So style here, it is what? Can you tell me the name?
Internal.
Come again?
Internal CSS.
No, I know it's internal CSS. I'm talking about the name. Since we have style, which is open and closing tag, what is the name given to any element which is open and
Element.
closing? So it's elements. Understand? So now it is element. But when it is here, it is what?
It is attributes.
It is attribute. So you can see the difference. It's the same style, but when it is inline, it is attribute. But when it is what? Here, in the body or in the head, it is what? An element, open and closing tag. So whatever we put it here is what we call the internal, because it is inside or in between these elements. Right?
Yeah.
So it's similar. It's similar way to this in the body. You see body and the body close. So all what we write here, it is inside the body. So that's why this is called internal. So it is inside the style, which is normally when we see something style, it is just simple as CSS. You understand? So if you see any name, you see style, we are referring to the CSS. So how can we apply? So for instance, here we apply style as background green. So if you want to do the same thing, let's say we clear all this side. And we said we want to apply background green here using internal CSS, not inline. We want to now add internal CSS. To do that, what we normally do is we are targeting the element that you want to be affected. Right? And here, what element do you want to be affected? The body. Right?
Yeah.
If you want to affect the body, then we should take the body. The name. So we are taking the name here inside. Then we write body. Right? So it means that we are targeting this body. That's why we wrote each name here, body. Right? And then we bring what? We bring curly bracket. Curly bracket. You remember how curly bracket is written?
Yeah.
Curly bracket.
Yeah.
Right? Then we wrote curly bracket. And when we write curly bracket, now that we are going to write these things, this background color, this stuff. So it's the same thing. You have to follow the same thing. It's the same situation. So now normally what we normally do is that when you do a curly bracket, we press enter to bring it down like this. You understand? Or normally, if you have only one property that you want to add to the body, you want to add one style only to the body, you can leave it here. But if you want to add multiple style too, you just make sure you press enter to bring it down so that you can have space to add multiple style. So assuming we are going to add only one style to it. So now if we give a curly bracket, now we already have our style. So here, when we were writing in the inline one, we wrote style. But now we don't need the style because we already have style here. Open and closing, right? So now we have to write the body, which is the target. We are targeted to the body. We bring what curly bracket. And inside, we now tell the browser the property that we want to add. So now we can just set background color as we did before. Background minus color. And normally when we do that, what do we add? We add what? Column, right?
Yeah.
We add column. And when we add column, we add the color or the value or the property now, right? So we can say
Yeah.
green, right?
Yeah.
So now we finish. And remember that here when we finish, we add what? Semicolon, right?
Yeah.
And then here too, when we finish, the semicolon is written outside of this curly bracket, not here. Here is written inside, right? But here, when we finish, you write it inside like this,
Outside.
outside like this. So now you've finished this property. You understand? So body is this body. And then you say background, you bring what? You brought curly brackets, background color, colon, green, and then you close it, and then you brought what? Semicolon, meaning you have finished with this color, right? And then if you want to target another different element, you can say, I want to target this element, H1. Come here, you see H1, curly brackets, font size, right? And then I want to add 100 pixels, right? Want to add 100 pixels. We already have it, so it wouldn't affect. So now I'll just delete this and then I'll add this. Let me delete this one. Right. So if I say H1 now, font size 100, or maybe I will say font size 1000. A minute. Is bigger. Be 100. I'll leave it 100. 100 is bigger. 50. You see, it is bigger. 50 now. So what is the difference? What do you see now? We are saying that we want what to affect H1, right? So when we say we want to affect, we have many H1, right?
Yeah.
Here we have H1, here we have H1, here we have H1. It means that this thing that I'm applying, I'm
Hello. Hello.
font size.
You said
So
what?
if I change this to maybe 20, all of them have the same, 30. If I change the value to different, all of them will have the same font size because it is affecting the H1, and H1 is here and it's here and it's here. You understand? So now if I go down here and say I want to have paragraph, which is I'm targeting what? This. Maybe let me write something inside. So this is paragraph inside. I wrote paragraph inside, right? So I wrote paragraph. If I wrote paragraph, then let me add this one too. This one should also have, let's see, it's also a paragraph. Maybe I can add another one here. So all of them have paragraph. So if I add curly brackets, and I said font size, or maybe let me say use color, and I give them white, what do you think will happen?
All of them will become white.
All of what?
The paragraph.
All of the paragraph will have white. Understand? Because this is paragraph, this paragraph, this paragraph. So I'm telling the style to affect the P, which all of here, it has P, P, P. So all of them will be white. You understand? But when we were doing the inline one, we were only affecting only one thing.
Yeah.
But here, when you apply the P here, we're affecting all the P here inside. I hope you understand.
Yeah.
So that is how the internal CSS is. So that is the internal CSS. Always try to look at which element do you want to be affected. Body, it is this. H1, it is this. Paragraph, it is this. Or if you have button, you can say we have button elements and we say submit is our button. And then the element is what? Button, right? Then I come here and say that my element is button. Then curly bracket. Then I'll start writing my style, right? So what do I have? Padding, right? Then padding, and I'll say I want maybe 40 pixels, right? So this button or this padding is affecting this button, which is this, right?
Yeah.
Maybe let me reduce it to 20. Okay, so if I do this, and then I want to add another property to the same button, then it is now that I have to bring this down like this. Normally, when you save it, it normally look like this. You button, curly bracket, then you bring it this way. Pardon, then you write what? 20 pixels, the word. Then you come down. So it means if I add any other property to the button, it will affect the button again. So now I can come here and say I want to add border radius. Border radius, and this makes the round to be curved. Then I can say I want to have maybe like 20 pixels. You see the curve here. Those are border radius. You see it is curved. You understand? So all whatever I'm adding, if I add anything, it affects the button only here. Unless I have another button inside, it will also affect it. You understand? So if I add this, I can add maybe background color for the button. I can say I want background color to be maybe blue. You see that it affects only this because we are under button. So I continue to add. And when you see, look at the what I add. Semicolon mean it ends. I want to add different one. Semicolon end, add different one. Semicolon end. I come back again and say I want to add the color. Then I say I want white. The color should be white. The color is white. You understand? I'll come and say I don't want this border to be there. I want it to be empty. So I can come and say outline. I'll say I don't want it, none. You understand? So normally you can do it like this. I don't know why, but then it's not. You understand? So sometimes you can just do something like this, and then you see that something this is affected. So you can add maybe the border. Let me see the border. And add border. You say none. You don't want the border to be there. You understand? So now this border that you see it was there. Now you say you don't want it. Then you wrote none. How you understand?
Yeah.
So for instance, if I said I want to add, even though we are not doing this kind of pseudo element, but if I said if I want to add another thing, if I hover on this, it change color. I can say I want the same button, but I want to have hover effect in my curly bracket. Then I can now change the background color to maybe this color, aqua, right? So this means that this is targeting the button itself. But when it target the button and it give you a pseudo effect, which is hover. Hover means when I hover on when I put my cursor on the button, I want the background to change to this color. When I come here, the background changes. You understand? When I leave, it comes to its original. When I go, the background changes. So I can say that, oh, when I come, the background should be this, but the color is just white, as I said here. Then I can add the color here to also be maybe black. You can see black. It means that when I hover, give me this color, and the text color should be black. But initially, the background is blue and the text color is what? White. But when I put my mouse on it, give me this color and change the text color to be this. So look, when I come here, look at the text color inside. It's turned to black, and this turned to what? This color. You understand? So this is normally the inline CSS the internal CSS that I'm talking about. So let's see if you understand. Let me clear all this and see if you really understand.
Yeah, I
Okay.
understand.
Okay, let's go on. So if I want an internal CSS, where should I go and what should I start with?
Uh, we have to stand at the title, under the title.
Inside the head, right?
Yeah, inside the head.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll write style.
Style, style
Yeah,
element.
yeah, style element.
Okay. So inside the style,
Inside the style, we'll write body.
we write body. And
Yeah,
why am I writing body?
because you want the body to be affected, so
Okay, because I
that's
want to
why.
apply the style to the body.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll write body. What next?
Uh, then after that, we bring a curly bracket.
Okay, curly bracket.
Then we will type what we want to be affected. Maybe if you
Mhm.
want the H1 to be affected, then we can write the H1.
Come again.
Uh, no,
We
no,
are on
no.
the body.
Like,
We are on the body. You're
yeah,
talking
we
about
are on
H2.
the body. Like, we are inside the body. So we want the maybe background to be affected.
Then
So yeah,
what property do we are going to have?
we're going to write the
Background,
background
only
property,
background.
background property, background color.
Background color. Background minus color.
Yeah.
Then What should I type?
Then we write semicolon.
Are you sure?
We write column.
Okay, add column. And
Then
then,
we put the color that we want. Maybe if it is blue, let's say maybe brown.
okay, brown.
Mm,
And then what next?
then we write the semicolon.
Without the semicolon. Okay. So that is how we add internal CSS. One simple as ABCD. This is the rule. So imagine, okay, let's move. For instance, I want to add another. Okay, I want to affect the H1. What should I do?
Then you write the H1. H1
Okay,
element.
what again?
Uh,
Yeah, I wrote the H1 element. Okay.
then we write the curly bracket. Hello.
Curly bracket. Okay.
Then
So what can we add to its test? So what's
we can choose to write maybe font, font text or maybe
font
padding,
size or font test?
font size.
Okay, font size. Font size are the size of the text that you have. You understand?
Mm,
So when you talk about font is normally looking at typography, all the text that you have, whether it is H1, H2, H3, paragraph, anything that is text, you understand? You focus on fonts. That's why you see all the what. Look at some of the property. Font size, font family, font weight, font style, font display. Anything that is text, I understand. So we write font size, and then what are we going to give to the font size?
you can do it um, extra extra small.
Okay, that's just one. Okay, so your H1, all of them have become extra small. Or you can just click clean this and write a normal what size, like maybe 20 pixels.
Mm,
You understand? Instead of writing the word, we understand. You can write what 10 pixels, 20 pixels, something like that. Mhm. And then this H1 affect what?
all the H1s
All the
in the
H1 elements.
body.
Yes. Okay. So what about now? If so now I just added only one what properties or only one style to the H1. So if I want to add another style to the same H1, what should I do?
We remove the curly brackets
Mhm.
down.
Okay, so I brought this down and I brought this curly bracket down so that it will be like this is open and this is closed. All of them are in line like this, and then I leave this font here, right?
Yeah.
Then below it, I can write my next style. So what do you think we can add?
We can choose to write maybe padding.
Okay, it's okay. Padding is also okay. But for now, here in the test, normally we don't think about padding, although we don't know most of the properties. So I believe maybe we can just write font weight. You understand? Because you talk about the size, which you said you wanted to be 20 pixels. right? So what about the font weight? When we talk about the font weight, we are talking about the boldness or the lightness of the font. You understand? Like when you want to weigh something, like you should understand it that way. You talk about the boldness or the lightness of the text. So now the text is like this. If you want it to be more bolder, you can add, we say font weight minus weight. Then our column, and then we can write the number that we want. The 100 is lighter, and 900 is what? Bolder or very thick.
Mm.
I understand. And we have here, we can just write bold, bolder, or lighter. So if I choose 100, look at how it's going to be. See, it's light.
Mm.
Now, what about if I look at like 900? Look at how it is now. And I bring my semicolon, meaning I finish. Right?
Yeah.
So that is how you add the internal CSS. Right? So looking at, I don't want to tell you, so I want you to figure it out. Looking at how we write the inline CSS and the internal CSS, how do you see a difference in
Different.
terms of when we apply the style? How do you see a difference?
Mm.
Let's look at what we did here. Like for instance, here I said style and added, let's say, color, and I say, let's say, green. So this is green. So just look at this and tell me this is internal and this is inline. And tell me what difference do you see?
Um, for the inline CSS,
Mm-hmm.
for that one, we are using it as attribute to make the
Yeah,
background.
yeah, we are using it
So
as
to color
attribute.
the background, yeah, it's used as attribute in the line
Mm-hmm.
CSS.
Yeah.
But in the internal CSS, for that one,
Mm.
it's used as an element.
Yeah, use as elements. Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, another one. There's one thing that I want you to look at clearly. That's why I added this so that you
And
figure it out.
for okay, and for the inline CSS, for that one, if you want to maybe make the how can I say this? Like for inline CSS,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to make the background color, it only affect the text that you want the background to be affected. But
Okay.
for the but for the
Internal.
internal one, you can
Mm-hmm.
choose for the you can choose for all the text to be affected.
Yeah, yeah. So that's correct. So the inline one, it means that it can only affect the element that you give the style to.
Yeah,
And so here I wrote H1 color green. So this color is only affected by this H1 here, which is here, right? By the internal, if I write H1, this H1 will affect all the H1 it sees inside this. You
yeah,
understand? So it means that this internal, it can apply to everything inside this body because it can target anything that is inside the body. But for the inline, it only attach or it only affect the line element, the element that is affected. You understand? Or that the element that you apply the style to. You cannot apply H1 inline CSS here and it affects the other. No, it only affects this H1. So if I want different or to add another to affect this H1, I just give it also each style color and also give it green. And also if I want this H1 to also have, I have to write it again. Style, color, green. So that means it's a huge task for me. Imagine my code is, I have a lot of code. So do you want me to go inside everyone, each one and write this color, this color, this color? You understand? You could understand that it is a very huge task for me, right?
Yeah.
So I cannot go in there. So for instance, if I have example, I have this H1 here, right? Then I have something
Mm-hmm.
here inside. I have another H1. I have test here inside. So do you want me to say, because I want to have color to background to be green, do you want me to be going in all of the H1, H1, H1 and changing the color to be green, to be green, to be green? It takes some time for me to finish, and it's not productive, right? So the internal one solve that problem. So instead of you applying H1, writing style here, color, green, you go here again, add style, color, you go like this, you say style, color, say green. It's a lot of work. You understand? It's a lot of work. So if that is the case, why don't I clear all this? Understand? Why don't I clear all this? If I clear all this and then go to the internal, I'll clear all this and go to internal. Since I'm just targeting H1, 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 why don't I just go here, H1, and say, give me color green, and it will affect all of the trees. So it means that I added only one color, and that color affected all the H1 inside. So that makes my work easier. You understand? So that is what an internal and inline CSS are all about, right?